very own Shubman Gill has scripted history on English soil with a double century. Captain Gill leading from the front. Not just this, Tesla's sales have plummeted to a new low, and we'll tell you why. Meanwhile, after Prada, another international brand, Dior, finds itself in the middle of a fresh controversy for stealing the Indian artistry. We have this more and a lot more packed up for today's show of Trending. I'm Rakshita Mishra. Let's get started. So in a move that stirred controversy, the Indian government has allowed Pakistan's hockey team to participate in an upcoming Asia Cup being held in India. Now, sources in the Sports Ministry confirmed that all the necessary approvals, right from the Home Ministry to External Affairs, are already in place. This is as per our sources. Officials insist that India's policy has not changed, while bilateral sporting ties with Pakistan remain suspended in every sport. Viewers, participation in multinational tournaments hasn't been blocked. And in fact, the decision has triggered sharp reactions online. One social media user calls it shameful. Other has questioned, and I quote, "Why are we allowing the terrorist nationals into the country? That too for sports." Meanwhile, a third user says, "We will never learn." In fact, I have with me sports journalist Shekhar Vijayan on the broadcast. He's joining us from Bengaluru. Well, Mr. Vijayan, we have always said that we will never forget and we will never forgive what Pakistan has done in Pahalgam. It bled innocent lives. And we have boycotted artists from Pakistan. There's a ban on these artists. You've seen the entire controversy recently around Hania Amir and the likes. But when it comes to sports, we see that the entire chronology remains the same. Back in 2023, the Pakistani team had visited India for the World Cup. The ties weren't great either. But after Pahalgam terror attack, when you say that Operation Sindoor is still underway, why can't we stop Pakistan from coming to India?
Rakshita, like you just said right at the beginning of this program, we don't forgive nor do we forget, right? I think we have a memory of an elephant, and that's going to be really important for India going forward. I find this very strange. At one point of time, you talk about Pahalgam, the government does what it does in terms of attacking Pakistan. Everybody knows what happened in those 20-odd days, which was sleepless nights for a lot of Indians across the border. And now you have a situation where the Pakistan hockey team is coming into India and you have sporting ties with them. Is the Indian sentiment not important? Are the lives not important? Is this really like how we want to manage things from going forward? The whole idea of, people say you should not make sports and politics together. But this is a complete no-no. You cannot negotiate or engage with a nation which sends terrorists to our country to kill them. As simple as that. And this is not the first time it's happening. It's happened earlier in the past. And I feel the government needs to take a very, very strong stand. Otherwise, we are just back to square one once again, where nobody will take us serious in the world stage. India will do what it has to do in terms of naming and shaming Pakistan for being terrorist. But doing this, playing with them, engaging with them, this Aman ki Asha will not really work, especially in hockey. And why are we rolling the red carpet out for them? Why are we doing that? I find it reprehensible. I find it very strange. And I really believe that are they not understanding the Indian sentiment? Are they not understanding what Indians really feel about what happened in Pahalgam?
Mr. Vijayan, I want to understand from you that is there any threat to India? Is there a threat of sanctions? Has there any hampering of our hosting rights in future that could happen because of that? Is it because of that, or is it just plain simple? We want to have harmony and not politicize sports. Is it as simple?
Rakshita, there are three things to this. One is I don't believe there is a threat of sanctions. I think India, we all know India is a great country. India is India is a superpower. India can demand. India can draw out a lot of things. I don't think there is a threat of sanctions. The second thing is, are we trying to play good all the time? This is the time to be great. This is the time to take a stand firmly in the sand and tell very clearly that we don't negotiate with terrorists. All the countries do that. Why can't India just do this? Why does India always have to play good guy all the time? You can still be good, and you can tell Pakistan very clearly, we won't play with you until you correct yourself, until you clear yourself. India at one point in time is going out in the world stage and telling everybody in the world. We had a consortium of ministers who went from the opposition and from the ruling party, who went outside India and went to different countries and told that Pakistan is a country which is responsible for the terror attacks. And still you have a situation where we are engaging with them right now. You want to play sports with them. I don't think there's a problem of sanctions right now. Even if there is a problem of sanctions, even if sanctions does happen, I think India needs to take a very, very firm stand and be very clear about where it stands vis-a-vis Pakistan. It cannot be, 50-50. It cannot be, doing it when you decide to do it. You have to have a very clear stand and stand by it. And
right.
I also believe it's very important for the Indian sentiment that we need to stand with the country as a whole.
Right. Finally, just very quickly from you, if I want to understand from you that, when India, you're saying we're trying to play good, but we've seen that in the past, be it, 1980 Olympics, we've seen that there was US-led boycott from 60 countries at least against Soviet Union invasion of Afghanistan. We've seen the boycott against South Africa as well. And we've seen that what happened, we've seen South Africa also changing its policy. Why not with Terroristan? Is it not possible to even, garner more support from other countries as well to isolate Pakistan completely?
It is. And I think our foreign policy is so good. We have such a strong government at the center. We've got such a strong foreign policy. I don't think there's any reason why we can't do that. See, the fact that we cannot even talk about Terroristan, like you said, or Pakistan in one breath, India speaks about it. You cannot even compare both the countries. We are at a different league altogether. Pakistan is at a different league altogether. We cannot compare. There are two ends of the sword. Right. And that just answers your question. I think India, diplomatically, India is at a stage right now where India can demand, can draw, can make the world listen to it, because India is at the edge of greatness. And I don't think there's any reason for us to not take a firm stand. We have to take a clear stand about where we stand vis-a-vis terrorism, because this is going to be the future for us otherwise.
Right, Mr. Vijayan, thank you so much for joining us with your thoughts on this story that's trending on social media today, viewers. We shift our focus to the good news we have from the world of sports. This is from the world of cricket. Shubman Gill, the newly made captain, the newly appointed captain of the Indian Test team, has slammed his maiden Test double century, and he has become the first Indian captain to score a double ton in England. Gill also broke Sunil Gavaskar's record, the 46-year-old record, to become the second youngest Indian captain to score a Test double ton overall. And in fact, we've seen that there's a lot of scrutiny of Shubman Gill's, he has been playing, of course, he's been in sublime form, but his captaincy also, of course, has been under scanner. Coach Gambhir's, decision has also been, of course, under scanner. But this time, I think Shubman Gill is right now, all right, 230. All right, I'm told that he's still going strong. He's not tired after that double ton, the young Shubman Gill. And, he's leading from the front. He's a young captain. He's a fresh captain. And despite the challenge of playing on foreign soil, coming back from a defeat, we see that Shubman Gill is leading from the front, and he has touched the 230 mark now, 234, and he's shining with the bat. And of course, a solid partnership is what we are witnessing in the middle right now in Edgbaston. So we have Washington Sundar also going very, very steady. So Shubman Gill continues to plunder as India captain with the maiden Test double century. It's a record, and it's a 150 up partnership with Washington Sundar, the all-rounder Washington Sundar. Remember, his selection was also under scrutiny. But Washington Sundar there living up to the trust showed by the team management. And India, of course, has crossed the 500 mark, let me tell you, in the latest. And for the loss of 6 wickets, India is 519 as we speak. All right, we quickly shift our focus now to the other trending story. Tesla is headed for another year of shrinking sales after it posted a second straight drop of 13.5% in the quarterly deliveries, dragged down by CEO Elon Musk's right-wing political stances and an aging vehicle lineup that has turned off some buyers across the globe. We've seen that Musk's Tesla has been in trouble, and we've seen a lot of turmoil as far as Musk's foray into politics is concerned, his support and the sudden opposition to Trump that we've seen. Now, at the beginning of President Trump's term in January, when Musk was entrusted with overseeing Doge, his personal wealth was around $400 billion. However, after 6 months marked by controversies, resignations and internal disagreements, Musk's net worth has significantly dropped to $350 billion. And we see the flip-flop from Trump as well. Musk once aimed to steer the Trump administration, But with Tesla's stock tanking and his fortune shrinking, he's now been sidelined to the back seat. What began as policy clashes over tariffs and the big, beautiful bill spiraled into a fiery feud. Musk accused Trump of ties to Epstein, while Trump fired back, branding him senseless and a monster. The situation escalated to such an extent that Trump allegedly threatened Musk with deportation, and also prompting Musk to make a sudden U-turn and publicly praise Trump's leadership. Listen into what Trump has said.
Oh, I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, So I'm going to give that one to Peter.
Now, the ongoing Musk-Trump saga has stirred division online, a debate online, particularly within the MAGA circles. Some are labeling Musk a traitor, while others hail him as the best thing to happen to Donald Trump. Meanwhile, critics are turning on Trump himself, accusing him of betraying Elon Musk and a guy with no concern about the national debt. All right, viewers, we now shift our focus to the other trending story. There are many personalities on social media that are actually now commenting on that, and they're divided in their opinions now. We'll continue to keep a close eye. Now we move on to other trending story. Dior's latest luxury collection stole the spotlight in Paris, but it became the talk of the internet for all the wrong reasons. Their $200,000 coat, crafted by 12 embroiders over 34 days, featured intricate embroidery that's eerily familiar to India. A fashion commentator online has claimed it's none other than India's ancient Mukaish technique, a traditional Lucknowi embroidery style that slowly is dying out, with very few Indian artisans still practicing it. The snub? Well, Dior did not give the Indian craft its due credit, just like what happened with the Kolhapuris. Now, the dust has not even settled on the whole Prada fiasco yet, the Prada Kolhapuri fiasco yet. Remember, viewers, Prada had come under fire just a couple of days ago for unveiling a new collection of open-toe slip-on style sandals, peddling Kolhapuri chappals as their own high-end designs. It was only after they faced massive backlash on social media that Prada finally acknowledged that their leather sandals were quote-unquote inspired by the Indian handcrafted footwear from Maharashtra and Karnataka region. And this has caused a massive outrage online, and rightfully so. This is the second instance of haute couture allegedly hijacking Indian heritage. A user commented on Instagram that it's unfortunate that the credit meant for Indian artisans has been thrown into oblivion. Another user says that they wished Indian embroiders or artisans got as much recognition as ateliers in France. A third user pointed out that this is colonization too. So yes, cultural colonization, cultural appropriation is on full display. We have Taha Ahmed joining us. He has covered the Lucknowi craft of Mukaish Badla extensively as well. Mr. Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us on Public TV.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Yes, and we've seen that time and again, this cultural appropriation debate keeps coming up. With Dior, it has happened time and again. In the latest, we have the Mukaish work. How do you see this, because there is no way that India can actually assert and say that India deserves the due credit?
Of course. I mean, I always feel that India deserves the due credit, but there is also one problem with the mindset of our people. The thing is that we are always attracted to Western things. Why, I always ask these questions to people that why can't we go and buy all of these same things from the artisans itself? Why do we have to go to stores like Prada, like Gucci or Dior and buy their stuff of the same material that our artisans make? So that's a problem that I always like to highlight that exists with our mindset, that yes, after 78 years down the line, we have been decolonized, but our mindset is still the same. We are still impressed by the colonized things, the colonized way of looking at this world. So I feel that is a major problem, that why the Western countries, they do not give these due credit to us, because for them it is not important. For them, the representation of Indian artisans is not important at a global scale. So I feel this is a major problem, and also this is a dying craft. Like when I started working on it in 2016, there were around 20-25 last old Badla artisans who were in their 60s and 80s who used to do this craft. But eventually, slowly I have seen them fading away. The younger generation, they do not want to continue this craft. And I would tell you a very interesting thing, that there were 2 warehouses that I covered back in 2016 to 2018, and one of them, which was situated in the Husainabad gate, has now been closed, and there has been a tea shop that has opened up. So I also believe that we as Indians are also responsible for the same, that we also need to come up and give these artisans the due credit, and then fight at a global scale for the representation of any sort of Indian artisans, because India is a very diverse country, and all of these Western people. So I'll say that, this is something which is good also. Like, for example, the Indian community get represented overseas, but there is a major, dilemma that we have.
We have to be vocal for local, and of course take pride in our local artisans and the work, because India is we have from north to south, east to west, variety of, cultural artistry that is on display, and it's going global, and India should of course take pride in that. Thanks so much, Taha Ahmed, for joining us on Republic TV. Right, viewers, let's take a quick look at the trends that are running hot on the internet today. Terrifying video shows a plane struggling to land at Madeira Airport in Portugal, swaying and bouncing on the runway. The airport is notorious for its tricky approach and strong crosswinds, making it a challenging landing for pilots. Due to bad weather, 49 flights were cancelled on Tuesday. A skydiving plane carrying 15 people crashed near Cross Keys Airport in New Jersey after reporting engine trouble. Despite the severity of the crash, all passengers survived, though some suffered critical injuries. The outcome was deemed remarkable by the officials. Indian and French troops participated in a friendly tug-of-war during the Indo-French joint military exercise Shakti 8 at the Camp Larzac in France, and the exercise aims to strengthen the military ties between the two nations. Maharashtra Transport Minister Pratap Sarnaik disguised himself as a rider to bust Rapido's illegal operations right outside the Mantralaya. Despite an official ban, the app accepted bookings, proving the ban's poor enforcement. The bike taxi policy in the state remains stuck even as officials crack down on the violators. The 19-year-old world champion Dee Kokesh is in a joint lead with Carlsen after day one, defying the Norwegian legends claim that he's weak in the fast formats. Kokesh has beat Firoza and Pragnananda, silencing critics including Carlsen himself, who had doubted his rapid blitz skills. In fact, tonight he's all set to face Carlsen. Actor and fitness icon Milind Soman, who's 60 years in age, cycled 90 kilometers and ran 21 kilometers each day from Mumbai to Goa as part of the 5th Fit India run, covering the entire Konkan stretch. He called the annual endurance feat a fitness check and hoped it inspired others to get fitter. Dramatic scenes unfolded in Mumbai when the wall of a society collapsed in the Airoli Sector 20. This happened amid the construction work. 4 motorcycles parked near the wall also fell into the nearby pit. An elderly shopkeeper in Thane was slapped repeatedly by MNS workers for refusing to speak Marathi. While an FIR has been registered, no arrests have been made so far. State ministers condemned the assault but reiterated that Marathi should be used in Maharashtra. Liverpool and Portugal forward Diogo Jota, 28-year-old, died in a car crash in Spain along with his brother. The vehicle veered off-road and caught fire. Just 10 days ago, he married his longtime partner. She is survived by her, and he survived by her and their 3 children. Club players and fans are mourning a shocking and heartbreaking loss. in this edition of Trending. We'll be right back with Super Prime Time Max with Arnab Goswami. Stay tuned.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज।
Future wars will be conducted based upon intelligence input gathered from enemy's territory. Suppose there is a war with Pakistan or China or even Indian Ocean region. Then we have to know what exactly Pakistan is doing in depth, what they are doing towards their military assets, which are closer to Afghanistan border, closer to Iran border. Similarly, in Tibet, in case there is a skirmish with China, we would like to know what is PLA doing in Tibet or even in depth in China. Similarly, in case there is a war, Pakistan Navy or PLA Navy may operate from Indian Ocean region to cause damage to our coastal installations, both military as well as civilian. So we would like to know well in advance what they are up to. These kind of intelligence gathering activities were on earlier also, but they were not very organized on military scale. You see, earlier we had some satellites which ISRO had launched. We had cartograph series of satellites. We had reset set of satellites which were rather, radar imaging satellites. The resolution was not very good. And we had GSAT, we had INSAT, but their orbiting time was very long. That means they will pass over an enemy target area, say after 4 hours, after 8 hours, because they were in polar orbit. So now a need was felt by Indian defense community that we should have a series of satellites which should have 2-3 special requirements.
Sports Ministry sources say Pakistan hockey team will travel to India for the Asia Cup.
एनपीआर को इम्प्लीमेंट करना, इस सिस्टम को इम्प्लीमेंट करना अभी फिजिबल नहीं है। इसलिए जो बाकी स्टेट्स के अंदर जब आप बाकी जिस तरीके से एनसीआर के अंदर जब आप इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे, साथ साथ में तब तक हम भी अपने आप को टेक्नोलॉजिकली इसको जानकारी लेकर उसके बाद ही इसको भी हम भी इम्प्लीमेंट करने की स्थिति में होंगे।
It's a huge Republic impact. Under the pressure from the common man, Delhi government reconsiders old car ban policy. SpiceJet flight window panel pops out of its socket. Airline downplays incident, calls it a cosmetic window frame. DGCA pulls up SpiceJet. Karnataka police officer who has tendered resignation after humiliation by Karnataka Chief Minister after the latter nearly slapped him has now resumed work. Samik Bhattacharya appointed as the new West Bengal BJP chief.
पहलगाम में आतंकवादियों ने धर्म पूछ करके लोगों की हत्या करने का काम किया, वही काम भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर रही है।
After ST Hassan, another Samajwadi Party leader insults Hindu faith republic, questions SP leader Ravidas Mehrotra.
Another huge win. Arnab hits 83.6%. Viewership swells even further.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho Befikar.
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAHM.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी। दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा। I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter.
His rocket company is the only reason we can now send America astronauts into space. Take over, Elon. Just
But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, So I'm going to give that one to Peter. I'm going to let Peter test it out.
This is not the end of Doge, but really the beginning. My time as a special government employee necessarily had to end. It was a limited time thing. It's 134 days, I believe, which ends in a few days. So that it comes with a time limit. But the Doge team will only grow stronger over time. The Doge influence will only grow stronger. I'd liken it to sort of Buddhism. It's like a way of life.
ED exposes money laundering of Gandhis in court. ED unmasks conspiracy to siphon off AJL's assets. How Congress usurped rupees 2,000 crore assets against a 90 crore loan. Debating tonight at 9 p.m. Pakistan hockey team cleared for Asia Cup in India. Has Hockey Association forgotten Pahalgam attack? Why Pakistan players should never be allowed in India? Debating tonight at 8 p.m. scare in SpiceJet. Window frame pops out. SpiceJet says no risk after mid-air window horror. DGCA summons SpiceJet, but is it too late? Debating tonight at 8:30 p.m. Pakistan hockey team cleared for Asia Cup in India. Has Hockey Association forgotten Pahalgam attack? Why Pakistan players should never be allowed in India? Debating tonight at 8 p.m. ED exposes money laundering of Gandhis in court. ED unmasks conspiracy to siphon off AJL's assets. How Congress usurped rupees 2,000 crore assets against a 90 crore loan. Debating tonight at 9 p.m. Pakistan hockey team cleared for Asia Cup in India. Has Hockey Association forgotten Pahalgam attack? Why Pakistan players should never be allowed in India? Debating tonight at 8 p.m. Mid-air scare in SpiceJet. Window frame pops out. SpiceJet says no risk after.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
On the show tonight, huge controversy over reports that the Pakistan hockey team has been given clearance to play in the World Cup, upcoming Asia Cup in India. Mid-air window scare on SpiceJet, the terribly managed, terribly run airline. Window pops out and we all get a casual response from the SpiceJet management. And at 9 o'clock tonight, it's justice time as far as the great case of corruption against Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi are concerned. Will they be convicted? And ladies and gentlemen, as per sources, we are told that the Indian government has granted clearance, as per sources, for the Pakistan hockey team to participate in the upcoming Asia Cup in Rajgir and the FIH Men's Junior World Cup in Tamil Nadu. The Asia Cup is scheduled to be held in Rajgir, Bihar from 27th August to 7th September. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this. How can we let this happen? It's just about less than a few weeks after Operation Sindoor. And how quickly we forget. Pahalgam was attacked, ladies and gentlemen, just a few weeks back. The blood is not dry yet. The sentiments of the people of the country are totally clear. And here we are. We want to let these Pakistanis rub it in by flying to India, by waving their flag on our soil, and we 140 crore Indians will sit and watch them play cricket on our soil. And I say tonight, this is not done. This is a decision which must be rolled back. It must be rolled back because we, the people of India, are not okay with it. And why? If we don't play cricket with them, why do we want to play hockey? We refuse to play the Champions Trophy in Pakistan. We forced a shift to Dubai. Republic ran a campaign. And after 26 Indians are butchered by the Pakistanis, why should we welcome their hockey team here? There is blood on their hands, not sweat. We have to make them pay. We have to be clear and determined. We must not be a flip-flop situation on these issues. And if anybody changes their mind, we, the people of India, must put pressure so it's rolled back. Ladies and gentlemen, in May last year, quite rightly asking, will you invite someone abusing you to a marriage in your family? Certainly not. These were the words of S. Jaishankar. Mr. S. Jaishankar, I ask those questions back at you. S. Jaishankar ruled out the possibility of the resumption of bilateral India-Pakistan cricket ties till Pakistan completely shuns terrorism and terrorists. We say we will not let the waters flow into Pakistan, but we'll welcome their players here. Why this hypocrisy? What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, if Pakistani players are not allowed to play in the IPL because they can't play in India, if their film stars are not allowed to act in our movies, then why should their hockey team be allowed to play on Indian soil? In 2016, the Pakistan Kabaddi team was denied entry for the Kabaddi World Cup. How is hockey different? What is so special about hockey? I am opening the phone lines tonight, and if you're watching this video on any digital streaming device, I am requesting you, raise your voice with me. No hockey with Pakistan. It is an insult. It is an insult to the memory of the 26 people who Pakistan butchered, that we should be garlanding these people on our soil and watching them unfurl their flag on our soil. People are saying, some sources are telling us, oh, it's got to do with Olympic rules. Well, damn the Olympic rules. We don't care about Olympic rules. Some people say, oh, it's about if we don't follow these rules, then how will we ever host the Olympics in India? I don't care if we don't host the Olympics in India. But I don't want my national interest compromised as one part of a big lead up to one day hosting the Olympics on our soil. This is a matter of my immediate pride, my forever pride. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't forget what happened in Pahalgam. Not because those people who were working for the Indian government, they were a threat to anyone, because they were Indians and they were Hindus, because they were Sanatanis, because they chose to go to Kashmir, where Kashmiri Hindus have been thrown out. It was a deliberate act of butchery of Hindus in Pahalgam. 26 people were killed at point blank range because they were not Muslim, and you want us to play hockey with Pakistan. What is happening? Who's given this clearance? Who's given this clearance? I want an official clarification. If this is true, then it's unacceptable. But if it is happening just like that, in the presumption that nobody will notice, well, they are noticing. If it is not true, then we should be told they will not be allowed. 26 people were asked to recite the kalma, identified as Hindu or non-Muslim rather, and then killed, and now you want to play hockey with them. Newly-wed women were widowed and told, "Jaake Modi ko batao," as a challenge to our Prime Minister. And today we want to give a red carpet welcome to their Pakistani hockey players. It's been 72 days since Pahalgam. How am I, how are you, how are we supposed to forget the massacre of our people 72 days ago and exchange sports pleasantries with them? How convenient! How convenient! I hope this is not true. But if it is true, we must oppose it. Because, as I said, the blood of 26 Indians is still not dry. We can't have moral schizophrenia that leads us to strike terrorist camps in POK and attack them with the BrahMos one day and welcome their hockey players the next day. Can you imagine Israel allowing a Hamas-linked team to compete in a football match in Tel Aviv? Can you imagine Israel welcoming a Hezbollah, Hamas, or even an Iranian football team to play football in Tel Aviv? Would Israel host a Gaza football team after October 7th? Then why do we do it? Would the Americans allow a North Korean delegation into New York? I don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, how is a nation that runs the Lashkar-e-Toiba, that gives sanctuary to Dawood Ibrahim, be treated like a neutral sporting participant? They are not. They must be thrown out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not diplomacy. This is dishonor. And dishonor we cannot have. We cannot be so desperate for international approval or for the opportunity one day to host the Olympics, one day, that we will compromise on this now. No compromise, ladies and gentlemen, I say, and I hope you say this with me loud. No compromise. No hockey with Pakistan. Let's debate.
The Asia Cup, a prestigious tournament in the hockey calendar, is now marred by controversy. This as Pakistan hockey team is set to travel to India for the 2025 Asia Cup. Given the tense relations between India and Pakistan, questions are now being raised on the wisdom of hosting such a high-profile event in India and the entry of the Pakistani team.
Back in 2023, we saw that Pakistan team visited India to participate in the World Cup, the Cricket World Cup. Now in 2025, we again are understanding that the Pakistan team will be playing on Indian soil. Now remember, this is coming in the aftermath of the dastardly Pahalgam terror attack. India has broken off all diplomatic ties, but why the same cannot happen in this event? Well, our sources tell us that it cannot be done in a multinational tournament. But we've seen boycott of several countries in the past. Remember the boycott in 1980, the Olympics in 1980. US led the biggest ever boycott. That was led by it. 60 countries had participated in that boycott against the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. Not just that, South Africa for the longest time had also faced isolation. It had faced boycott due to apartheid. Why can't the same happen in case of Terroristan is the question that is looming.
The 2025 edition of the Asia Cup is scheduled to take place in Rajgir, Bihar from August 27th to September 27th. The charter is akin to the constitution of the Olympic movement and stresses on sports as a tool for promoting international peace and cooperation. The violation of the Olympic Charter by blocking any rival nation's participation can hamper India's chances of hosting future tournaments. This as India is aiming to become hosts of the 2036 Olympic Games. However, in cricket, India and Pakistan don't play bilateral series, and at International Cricket Council events hosted by one of the two countries, the team play each other at a neutral venue. As the controversy surrounding the 2025 Asia Cup continues to grow, one thing remains clear: it's nation first, always and forever.
General Bakshi is with us, Saurabh Shukla is with us. He's totally outraged, as are you tonight, as are you viewers. Because the problem with these sports things is they say, oh, let sports go on. We are sports people. We must play. Nonsense. People will never forgive or forget Atul Vasan, Mir Rajan Negi, former hockey player, former goalkeeper of the Indian men's national field hockey team. I start with Atul Vasan. You know, I just asked this question, would Israel invite an Iranian football team? No. But we want to welcome a hockey team. And tomorrow, so that the cricketers say, why not us? हमें तो बहुत पैसा मिलेगा. हम इंडिया पाकिस्तान कर करके बेच पे हमें बहुत पैसा मिलता है. This has to be stopped, and let me tell you, Atul, it is going to be stopped. Your take.
Basically, I was also of the view, but you gave the example which is slightly different because they are currently at war. When we were actually fighting, when the war was on.
Operation Sindoor is on.
But I think in these times, because when international pressure is there for sports and all, and you don't want to be ostracized and all that, and if they are willing to come, because they have
what ostracized means
always said that, okay, we will also not travel, but they are traveling. And I think if
they are traveling, so they're doing us a favor. But I don't want to see the Pakistan flag
totally out,
on my soil.
Play with them each other. But I think in these events, which is going to affect our chances to move to Olympics and all that, there's no other way out unless they give you leverage that you can abstain and you will still be eligible. So I think these multinational tournaments, according to situation, we
what
are
situation?
Not
you can't force it down my throat. I'm a sovereign country.
Let us trust the government on this.
My sovereignty is more important.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Yeah,
they're a terrorist country. They kill my people. They carried out Pahalgam.
Hamas and Israel is also the wrong example. If we were at war, which we were for 3.5 days.
We are at war. What do you mean 3.5 days?
So your narrative is different to the government.
No, it's not. The government has said Operation Sindoor is on.
The government of India.
The government of India has said Operation Sindoor is on.
So you want to contradict the government decision?
I am not contradicting. I am questioning the government. Yes, I am. I don't have a right to, is it?
So because they must have taken all the things.
They may take, but they must understand public sentiment also.
So do you think they would have taken the sovereignty issue before taking decision?
I'm sure they have, but they've taken the wrong decision in case they have.
You're more loyal than the king. No, you're not.
No, what do you mean? There is no king in our country. There is no kingdom. For you, there may be.
But you are trying to be.
I am not at all. I'm saying why treat cricket and hockey differently.
Government has shown.
I'm saying why treat cricket and hockey differently. We did not even go to Pakistan to play the Champions Trophy. That was before Pahalgam. That was before 26 Indians were massacred by Pakistani terrorists. Joining the debate right now, we have General G.D. Bakshi. General G.D. Bakshi, you heard Atul Vasan's argument. This is what makes my blood boil. So there's a lobby in our country which wants to go down to business as usual kind of argument. They're very... Oh, yes, they want to.
Arnab, the thing is in that one statement that you made at the outset. Operation Sindoor is still on. Our government says it is only a pause. There is no ceasefire. There is no agreement. So what the hell is this hockey match all about? There are some nutcases in this country who would go out of business if, they can't have a love fest with Pakistan. It will start with a hockey match, then the cricket teams will flood us, and then the Mushaira Walas will come singing their bloody ghazals. While even the mourning periods wouldn't have ended in a number of homes. They'd still be in mourning. 26 Indians killed is small change. Add one Nepali to it, and there were another 17 wounded. I mean, the wailing of those women has still not died out. I distinctly remember, and it hit me so hard, Arnab, to see our girls crying, sobbing bitterly, calling for help, and people telling them, tension mat lo, pani piyo. तो आप भी हमें पानी पिला रहे हैं साहब. And like you very rightly said, this is a democracy. And I think the government will have to be very, very sensitive to public opinion.
Because this is the kind of mistake that Congress governments used to make earlier. I hope the BJP government doesn't make it, because there was a Lahore declaration in February 1999. Vajpayee took a bus to Lahore, right? And then he got his just reward with Kargil. The mastermind was General Parvez Musharraf. We let our guard down, we change our line, we're going to suffer. Mir Ranjan Negi, I'm sure you do not place national interest behind hockey interest.
Yes, Arnav. Actually, this is not just about hockey. It's a profound message of a sports diplomacy, bridging decades of political intricacies and complexity. You won't believe I am, for the first time, ready to take firing from you. I know I am in the firing range, but being a sportsman, I always stand by my country. But despite all the adverse situations and this volatile atmosphere which we have witnessed due to the Pakistan's nefarious activities, I feel that sports still continues to have this.
Why should sports be exempt? I mean, let's open up everything. By your logic, Niranjan Negi, by your logic, let's open the Atari Wagah border, evening celebrations. Let's start having samosa parties there. Let's allow Pakistani actors into Bollywood. Let's start our Aman Ki Asha Brigade, the bus and train services. Let's start people-to-people ties. Let's even give them the water. Why have the Indus Waters Treaty suspended? This is symbolic. And the Pakistanis, Saurabh, are going to use this to the hilt.
Absolutely. And if I can come in, Negi Saab, I have the highest respect for our sports persons, our sports teams. But this is not the time. We are in a state of war with Pakistan. Let's admit the reality. Our brave armed forces have given them a fitting reply, and Operation Sindoor is still on. I would expect every sports person on this panel, both Atul and Negi Saab, to speak in one voice to say that we will not play with Pakistan till the time they do not stop this specter of terrorism that they're unleashing on the people of India. We, as people of India, have to stand together against Pakistan. And anytime you play a match with them, you make it normal for them. Enough and more Pakistanis. In fact, there are videos which have surfaced. Atul, you should see the videos of Pakistani cricketers who are mocking.
Yes, I understand that.
Of how they back down. This is the time for a national solidarity.
I agree with you. And I'm sure with
or a sporting interest. Sport can build bridges with rational.
I don't think the Modi government will allow this. I don't think the Prime Minister will allow this. I don't think the Prime Minister will allow this. I don't think the Prime Minister can clear this. I'm sure this will be reconsidered.
We will not allow these sporting teams to come to India till the time Pakistan stops.
So that could be something which I agree with you, that they should not be allowed to come to India. If you are playing in another place and it's like Olympics, what do you do? If you abstain, you lose out a medal chance. But, because the government must have taken everything into consideration. And I think just playing them bilaterally is an issue. And I always believe that, yes, you are right in a way. But at that time of intensified war, we are always in Cold War. But I think government must have
we are not in Cold War. We are in a Atul.
Because I don't want to question them because they must have got
Atul, I am going to open the lines, but I would like to tell everyone as of now that the government has not put it on record where they stand.
Then
I am sure that, the same government is sending people around the world, all these MPs, to say, how Pakistan sponsors terrorism. All these countries will ask us, General Bakshi, that on the one side, you keep saying that this is a terrorist country and then you let them wave their national flag on your soil. You welcome their players with a red carpet. They have not given you an official apology, no cooperation, not even an acknowledgement. They attacked us back during Operation Sindoor, and then they get to walk into our soil with sticks and jerseys as if nothing happened. This is going to be a humiliation. This is going to be demoralizing for our armed forces. It will be demoralizing for the armed forces of India. The government, if true, has to roll this policy back. General Bakshi, what impact will this have on our armed forces? If true.
Absolutely, Arnab. You said it. We've lost boys in Op Sindoor. I hope people know that. It's not just the 26 tourists who were killed. We've shed blood, Indian blood. It may not have been a very high toll to pay because of our technological superiority. But there have been homes, military homes, where the lights have gone out because they have lost their loved ones too. Nobody is counting them. Arnab, I hope we've heard Field Marshal or Field Marshal Asim Munir's rant that he gave in the Pakistan Military Academy, Kakul, just recently. He has reiterated that Kashmir is a jugular vein. We will support the so-called struggle of the Kashmiri people, etc.
I hope the government stops this. This used to be the Congress party, the Congress government kind of approach. I hope the peaceniks are not going to let this work. I hope there are no peaceniks in this government. C.R. Reiter is our first caller this evening on an outrageous piece of news that we got about the hockey team of Pakistan being garlanded and welcomed back on our soil. Mr. Reiter, what do you think?
Arnab, I find it disgusting.
So do I, sir, if it's true.
I find it very, very disgusting. You are a person who speaks openly.
Sir.
Do you mind if I speak equally openly?
Yeah.
On one side, we try to show the world that we are strong people. We go from nation to nation talking about terrorism. And on the other side, you are bringing all this in the picture. I feel ashamed.
I agree with you, Mr. Writer. This has to be stopped. We can do this together. And we can do this together, though. If we come together, and the Republic is the center. We have the Nationalist Collective. I call upon all the members of the Nationalist Collective. There are thousands to come together and express your views clearly on our Twitter handle and elsewhere. The Nationalist Collective and the Republic Network together will push this agenda. Anuradha from Kolkata. Anuradha, what do you think?
Yes, Honour, it's a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for taking up this issue which matters to us all. Our Honourable Prime Minister tells us that water and blood cannot flow together. Then how can theatre and sports happen at the same time? We all love that. It's good to be a sportsman, but it's also good to be, we have to be a naturalist first. And how can we forget those 26 lives lost?
I think some people are trying to build a separation between the two events. And I think what's happening is, as I go to Shweta from Bhubaneswar, some people, maybe in the government outside, are trying to make excuses to make this happen. The principal excuse being put, Atul, is indirectly that, look here, we may be putting a bid for Olympics ourselves.
Yeah.
If we don't allow Pakistan today to play here, will we stop Pakistan from participating in the Olympics, which we bid for, I think, in 2036 or something? Then the Olympic Association will feel one of the reasons to disqualify India is that India will not allow Pakistan to play. My view on that is radical. I say I don't want the Olympics in my country. In that case, not at the cost of compromising with Pakistan.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a compromise. I think because, I agree with you on this part that Pakistani players coming to India is a no-no. If this was, otherwise, if Asia Cup in many sports is only surviving of India-Pakistan, forget cricket. So if India abstains to play Pakistan elsewhere, then this whole system collapses.
No, I'm saying, I'd go so far as to say, I do not care if India does not get an opportunity to host the Olympics. What happened to Qatar?
We just played a chess match. Under 16 match was just played between.
No, I think we should not allow this. Shweta from Bhubaneswar.
Not allow them to come to India. I agree with you. No.
Yeah, Shweta.
Yes, Arnab.
What do you think?
So, after the tragedy in Pahalgam, engaging with Pakistan in any form is a grave insult. Like, be it hockey or diplomacy, we cannot just play games with a nation that fuels terror, right?
We are.
Until the peace is made, a proper agreement is done, we should not engage with the terrorist country, I feel.
But Shweta, I don't understand how this is happening. Saurabh, how is this happening? And who could have thought this? Did they not anticipate the reaction like
this? Really baffles me. This really baffles me, and I hope, as you...
I'm told it's gone through various levels of ministerial approval.
No, I hope...
How can Mr. Jaishankar clear this?
Including the Prime Minister's office and our security establishment, which takes a very serious view of this matter, is watching this broadcast, and we should stop this immediately, because as the sentiment is, you see the public sentiment, and I'm glad my fellow sports panelists are also now echoing our voice, because we believe that this is not the time. You have to realize that you send a very very, very different message to the world, that the moment you normalize things with Pakistan, they get off the hook. This is not the time to play sporting event with them or any other engagement.
Our immediate foreign policy will be compromised. I don't think whoever's given this clearance has thought this through.
Compromise till you stop terrorism.
No, our foreign policy will be compromised. This is not acceptable. Because we'll be a laughing stock globally, General Bakshi. We'll be told that you're busy improving your sporting relations while talking about how they are a terrorist state. Mr. Negi, you want to say something, is it? Yeah, go on, Mr. Negi.
Yes, Arnab. See, this is not a friendly match. It is not a test match. It is not some joyous match. It is a World Cup. It is the Asia Cup. It is
stop them. See, you see, Mr. Negi,
don't play the Olympics. And suppose India holds the Olympics, and you say, I will not allow Pakistan.
Yeah, we will not allow Pakistan. Yeah, we won't. See, that's a long way off. If by 2036 Pakistan behaves itself, we'll allow them in. The point is, we have to learn to negotiate. If you have to be good negotiators. This is going to compromise our foreign policy, our domestic policy, our internal security policy, our national security policy, and not just our sporting policy. We are trying to use sports to put out a white flag. In other words, I would think, General Bakshi, the reality is there are already people within the government, even this government, unfortunately then, who want to put out a white flag only because the public pressure are not able to do it. But they want to do it through the back door. We don't want it through the back door. No backdoor business here. This is not the Congress government. We have to push our way through. General Bakshi, what do you think? General Bakshi, Atul Vasan, lines are hot tonight. General Bakshi.
Arnab,
General Bakshi and Atul.
You've put the finger on that pulse. The simple fact of the matter is that there is a strong lobby in India which has to hell with public opinion, to the blazes with the people who are crying, sobbing, orphans, widows. I mean, they don't give a tuppence. They just want to go on to business as usual, and I do suspect, Arnab, many of them are trying to play to the tune of people outside this country, right? Why did we walk out of the Shanghai Cooperation meeting, SCO? Why did we refuse to sign that document there? For the simple reason that it made no mention of Pahalgam. We refused to sign. We said we do not own up to this document. We are not part of it. And today you say we are playing hockey. People will say, what the hell what hooky
I think
are you up to?
There has to be a middle ground.
What hooky are you up to? Decide, man. What do you want to do?
You have to
want
understand.
To be all love and friendship with Pakistan, ice cream and the rest of it? Or do you want to retaliate for the damage caused to the people of India?
So I think
26 Indians killed is small change, and we have another 9-10 people killed during Operation Sindoor. Small change. Let's get back to this thing. Arnab, I'll tell you, this is a deeply rooted mindset. General Bajwa, about 6 years back, had asked India for a ceasefire on the line of control. Why did he want a ceasefire? Because he wanted to sort out Afghanistan and put the Taliban in charge. He did that. He got a Taliban government there. But we held on to that stupid ceasefire till Pakistan violated it during Op Sindoor. Even Op Sindoor, people were a little reluctant to do away with a beloved ceasefire. I mean, are you nuts? Can you not speak in one voice?
No, I don't think government is nuts.
A word called hypocrisy?
I'm sure, there must be a lot of talk on this. And
hypocrisy.
The middle ground. Let me.
What middle ground?
Moderate. I agree.
I don't want a middle ground with Pakistan.
I agree with all of it.
I don't want a middle ground with Pakistan.
You can't call the decision maker nuts, please. And
no, one second. The fact of the matter is that there is a report. I'm sure, I hope it's not true, right? The point is that if we allow this, then we are getting back to business as usual, Atul. We're getting back to a territory. We're opening the door again. And I believe the door should remain permanently shut.
So I think, what would have happened is that if India would have said that we will not allow Pakistan players to come to India, they had to find another way. That, like in cricket, even if we don't play Asia Cup. By the way, we are going to play Asia Cup and Pakistan, and we are in the same pool. That remains to be seen on 7th September.
What Asia Cup? What Asia Cup?
Because hockey.
What Asia Cup?
Different. Hey, hockey system is different.
No,
hockey because you get.
You're saying on cricket also we'll start playing. Okay, so here's one thing. This is therefore perhaps being used as an example to cool down tempers. The cricket board would love to see this happen, because the moment this happens, the cricket board will say, "Abhi hum bhi khelenge unke sath."
नहीं करेंगे because
No, you can't allow this. There should be a permanent stop.
Because Asia Cup, you have to get qualifying points to qualify for Olympics and all.
Which country is more important sporting nationally, India or Pakistan? We put the pressure. Let the world choose whether they want India to play or Pakistan to play.
Okay, so we shouldn't have allowed them to come to India. Period.
And we won't allow them to come to India. That's my point. That's what General Bakshi said. We won't allow them to come to India. Also. So we don't even know the reasons for what this reason has been, because I agree. There is no reason.
I'm surprised also.
General Bakshi.
There must have been a
No. 1 second. 1 second, please. 1 second. Arnab, South Africa, was it allowed to attend the Olympics? Where were all those highfalutin sporting principles? South Africa was kept out because of the abominable behavior of the apartheid regime. This is another apartheid regime in Pakistan. So if South Africa could be kept out, why can't Pakistan be kept out of the Olympics? They should be kicked out of the Olympics.
That's a totally
and they can't keep killing Indians
example.
for sport. And we can't have hypocrisy here.
Indian Hockey Association must clarify this.
Here. One day,
that happens
blow hot, blow cold,
body
you decide what you want, man.
Ask Pakistan to be shunned out,
Our Raksha Mantri had to, on principle, said, we won't sign the Shanghai Cooperation Organization communique. We won't sign that agreement. Period. It doesn't mention Pahalgam.
For the Pakistani players.
There you are saying, arey to hell with Pahalgam. We are playing hockey. Don't play hooky with me. Don't play footsie with the Indian public.
Yeah.
They are not impressed.
Well said, sir.
Will we die? Will our economy come to a blinking collapse if we don't play hockey or cricket with Pakistan? To hell with Pakistan. A plague on their house. I mean, they are murderers. Mass murderers. They are as abominable as the apartheid regime was in South Africa. The world refused to play with South Africa.
Example.
They weren't invited to any Olympics. So what are you talking about Olympics? South Africa, was it not kept out of the Olympics?
And was Russia not suspended after the invasion of Ukraine? Was Russia not suspended from the Olympics after the invasion of Ukraine?
So let's
No. So we don't have any clout?
Why?
We're a smaller nation.
Suspending Pakistan. Let Olympics suspend it.
We're less determined.
You want to suspend Pakistan from...
Or we are not willing. I say to the people of India and to members of the Nationalist Collective and believers of Republic, we as a nation must be ready to make sacrifices. The government must say to the sportspersons, we will make a sacrifice. If the world doesn't want to play with us because we won't allow Pakistan, we will make the sacrifices necessary. No country, Atul, becomes a great country without the ability to make sacrifices. I don't want the Olympics in my country if it comes at the cost of compromising with Pakistan, Saurabh. I don't want it.
So if
corporates may want it. Big corporate houses with individual interests may want it. I have no such interest. People of India have no such interest. Nahi khelenge unke saath.
Thousands of sports.
Atul,
they will make sacrifice. You won't make any sacrifice if this doesn't happen.
Let them make a sacrifice. I'm willing to make whatever sacrifices I need to.
If India doesn't play any sport.
Yeah, this Bollywood brigade, this sports brigade, jaldi film stars ko lao, jaldi unke saath theek karo. Damn it, I don't want it. I don't want it on my country. My country is burning tonight, Saurabh. Our country, should I tell you, lines are burning tonight. Our country is burning, seething at this news.
There is a sense of outrage. Arnab, the public sentiment is very...
People are to be taken for granted, Atul. One day you tell them, we all against Pakistan. One day you say, chalo, abhi hamari agreement ho gayi, unko khelne do.
I would always believe, government people who have taken this call, they must have...
Well, the government can also reconsider a call. It won't be the first time or the last time that the government will reconsider something.
Our job as media persons to show anyone the mirror. We have to reflect the public reality. The reality today is that there is an overwhelming sentiment against any ties with Pakistan. Till the time they stop terrorism and hand over those fugitives who are perpetrators of terrorist attacks in India. That should not change, because otherwise we dilute our stand, we become a laughing stock globally. Whatever it is, you have to be standing with a strong spine today. That's what the world respects today. They respect a strong India, India which can stand and send out a clear message that we will not.
You will not allow their YouTube handles. You will not allow their OTT platforms. You will not allow, their film stars to act in India. You will not allow to play cricket. But halke say you want to go and play hockey with. No, it will not be allowed.
So you think government is halke doing this?
I am saying if the government has taken this decision, it is a wrong decision.
Well,
you'll arrest me for saying that.
You must not question, because they have other things to consider also. And I think just hockey, I agree with you that allowing Pakistani players to come here is an issue.
You consider them, we want.
Right to play this.
We want.
Good for larger.
We want. I stand with General Bakshi on it. We want.
Somewhere else, and who, this is the problem, because they should have said that we can play this match.
No. They thought ये सब media में report नहीं होगा. अभी media में हो गया ना.
Most people lives will be at stake if we get ostracized by the world body.
Okay, I'm willing to be ostracized. But I will not compromise on national interest.
You're still here.
All of us should be ready to pay the consequences, including you.
Allow me to come in for a minute.
All the players.
I think Atul, for national interest, I think you should realize for national interest, everything else should be set aside. It's the country first, nation first.
What the government
that
has
should
done.
be the
because
for everybody.
The national interest.
It doesn't matter. Sporting events can happen. But at this moment, our principal stand should come out that we will not have any normalcy in relationship with Pakistan.
I'll still give the benefit of doubt to the government.
No, okay, let's see what the government says. I have to move on to my next debate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for that. Now, a SpiceJet aircraft had a remarkably horrendous incident when the window frame came loose mid-air. It just came out. Despite this alarming incident, the airline gives a casual and templated response. Just another example of the arrogance of the airlines. Here it is.
Passengers on board a Goa to Pune flight had a panic moment when they witnessed one of the window frame off. The incident occurred on Tuesday evening when a window panel was found dislodged while the plane was mid-air. The passenger who shared the video on social media wrote that the whole interior window assembly just fell off mid-air. The airline tried to play it down by calling it a cosmetic issue and claiming that there was absolutely no safety risk. Ministry of Civil Aviation has sought reports on action from the DGCA. Like in the case of Air India, it is not an isolated incident in case of SpiceJet. In the last 5 years itself, there have been many spate of incidents. In 2021, SpiceJet Boeing 737 flying from Delhi to Dubai had to return after its engine suffered a failure. In June 2022, SpiceJet Delhi to Jabalpur flight experienced a pressurization failure at 6,000 feet right after takeoff. A month later, in July 2022, smoke was detected in the cabin of SpiceJet's Delhi to Jabalpur flight. In the same month, another SpiceJet flight faced a fuel indicator malfunction issue. Last month, SpiceJet's Hyderabad to Tirupati flight witnessed a technical snag shortly after takeoff. From technical snag to cabin pressurization, to smoke detection, and now the window frame dislodging mid-air, SpiceJet has been taking the passengers on a ride. Sky-high prices, but no safety assurances. Can the regulatory body fix accountability for airlines?
New trend in the country, Khatara Airlines. Khatara, a colloquial word for something that doesn't work, is defunct, obsolete, badly managed, or basically junk. Are these junk airlines? Captain Sujit Panesar, I want to start with you. Parvez on the other side. Parvez Damania. Captain Panesar, SpiceJet says nothing big. Why are you guys making a big deal of it? That's the kind of response they're giving us. Captain Panesar, is this a very small matter?
No, it's not a small matter. It's a serious matter, and depends how the engineering department takes care of their aircraft and fleet. But I still appreciate the pilots who have descended to 10,000 feet to save the life of passengers and fly unpressurized. I tell you, in a similar case, a pilot who refused the flight from San Francisco to Bangalore, he said in the leased aircraft, the oxygen is only for 12 minutes and he cannot descend to 10,000 feet. You give me another route. When he requested another route, airline said, no, we have to spend a lot of fuel and all that. Ultimately, after 8 hours of delay, they gave him a different route. And after pilot landed, they terminated the service of a pilot. You see, they should take a cue from the Air India management. I'm glad at least the pilot has used his skill. He has skill, and even if the window has blown up, he has come down to 10,000 feet, saved the life of passenger and aircraft. But at the same time, the airline has to be cautioned. They have to stand up and see why these snags are taking place.
Yeah,
I can tell you serious incident, even an aircraft flying from US into Alaska, he had half of the top was flown off. But the pilot's skill, they saved the aircraft and passengers. No.
So here the question is of the response of the airlines. You see, the response, Colonel Panesar, is about the response of the airlines. The airlines have become immune, Parvez. Their response is like, what is the big deal? We've been living with broken windows, broken seats, non-functioning ACs, engine collapse, single engine collapse, non-functioning emergency equipment. But you see, we have a setting with the DGCA. Setting, a colloquial term which means fixing. We fixed the DGCA. Why are you complaining? That is the casual sort of response I get every time from these airline players nowadays.
No, this is not the way the airlines can reply. They have to be held responsible and accountable. The DGCA has to come down very heavily on them. If they cannot afford spare parts, maintenance, then they should shut shop. They cannot take chances with the lives of passengers. And in this case, this particular case is just poor maintenance. There is no fault of anybody. There's no pilot engineering. It's just poor quality maintenance. And that is completely shown and reflecting in the case of SpiceJet. This cannot be allowed. And another thing, we every time blame the DGCA, hold DGCA accountable. My point is, safety is the first responsibility of the airline. You should be responsible for the safety and the quality and standards. The DGCA just overlooks, but DGCA can't monitor each and every flight and each and every takeoff and landing. So it is the first responsibility, that's the primary responsibility of the airline. Safety comes first. Food, everything else can come second.
Sir, there was a picture, there was a viral photo of a SpiceJet pilots having coffee and gujia. Coffee and gujia, this is a kind of sweets during a Delhi-Guwahati flight on Holi at 37,000 feet.
What was the pilot doing?
The pilot was eating sweets inside the cockpit.
The airlines and the staff have to be more disciplined, act in a more responsible manner. This kind of behavior is not acceptable at all. Not only in India, it's not acceptable anywhere in the world.
I think these airlines feel they got away. I think Air India feels it's got away.
No, I don't think. I am sure they will shape up their act. But you see, there's a big difference between airline and airline and jet. Air India and jet.
Sir, isn't there an existing problem with SpiceJet? Isn't SpiceJet terrible? Hasn't the DGCA placed them under enhanced surveillance, increasing inspections, monitoring? Isn't it very, very badly maintained airline?
They have done it time to time, and I don't know what the response has been. I think DGCA should be more...
Wasn't there smoke in the cabin, pressurization issue?
There have been many, many incidents in the past, and I think you conducted
Isn't there a zillion incidents of technical issues, dangerous ones with SpiceJet? Yeah. Then why is DGCA soft on SpiceJet?
No, and those issues reflect completely and very clearly poor maintenance standards.
Well, why does SpiceJet get away with poor maintenance standards?
I don't know why they get away, but they should not be allowed to get away because
but they're allowed to get away, sir.
I can't comment on why they're allowed to get away.
What is so special about SpiceJet?
No, they should not be allowed to get away with it. Nobody should be allowed. Forget, let's not name airline A, B, C, D. No airline should be allowed to take chances with the lives of passengers and the equipment. If they cannot afford to maintain so many number of aircraft, let them ground a certain
But
number of
SpiceJet is
aircraft.
saying this is nothing, it's a cosmetic incident.
But isn't this cosmetic problem immediately reflects the quality of the standard of the service?
Even a small leak can lead to decrease in cabin pressure that can trigger people with ailments, cause nausea, unconsciousness. Things can happen. Am I right, Captain Panesar?
Yeah, Arnab, I want to tell you an incident where a pilot refused to fly from San Francisco to Bangalore on a leased Boeing 777. He said this aircraft does not have oxygen more than 12 minutes and in case of pressurization, I cannot come down to 10,000 feet because of the high hills on the road. Now, when he landed in Bangalore, they terminated his services. DGCA fined Air India 1.1 crore. Fine is not the problem. Air India has tons of money. But did the DGCA monitor whether the aircraft is still flying on the same route? Why didn't they stop the aircraft from flying on the dangerous routes? What action DGCA has taken after that? They are still flying the same aircraft on the high hills routes and all that. There is a connivance between DGCA and these powerful lobbies of airlines.
No doubt. No doubt. But there's been no action.
It is high time Air India has to stand up.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened in Ahmedabad? What happened in Ahmedabad?
So we still don't know.
Why don't they hold a judicial inquiry in case of Ahmedabad? Let the public know it.
So they push
why
the
they are
ball.
holding an indoor the investigation?
That is the visual. Is it allowed? That's a picture apparently from a plane cockpit of gujia, tea, food, nice halwa and all being served inside a cockpit. Is this allowed, sir? Can you have a party inside a cockpit?
No, complete discipline has to be maintained inside the cockpit. No party can be held inside a cockpit.
But what is this then? What was this happening?
No, that's wrong. But when we were talking about the investigation, what happens in US, and Captain Panesar will agree with me, all investigations are open investigation. I mean, every stage of the investigation is reflected on the website. So government puts up every stage of investigation and what is happening, so everybody is aware of how the investigation is going. Unfortunately, in India, that is not the rule. It's a closed-road investigation in India. So we will have access to the information of what happened exactly in Ahmedabad only and only when the government, the Air India, puts out the information for us to get. Captain, am I right in what I'm saying about the closed-road and the open-road investigation?
Yes. Only in a judicial inquiry, a public can ask every document. They will not show anything to the public. They will not be open public investigation. No professional, no veterans will be allowed to question the government. This team, somebody called it a Gungat, Operation Gungat. They will not allow to see us anything.
I understand that, but Captain Panesar, I'm just highlighting these things.
I have written a letter to
I think
Chief
we must
Justice.
continue to work together to keep increasing the scrutiny on the airlines so that no more lives are lost. I thank you, Parvez Zamania and Captain Panesar, for joining me tonight at 9 p.m. tonight. Why Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi can get convicted, and if they can if they get convicted, then will they be thrown out of politics? Will they be thrown out of elections? And if they are thrown out of elections, what happens to the dynasty when I'm back?
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Future wars will be conducted based upon intelligence input gathered from enemy's territory. Suppose there is a war with Pakistan or China or even Indian Ocean region, then we have to know what exactly Pakistan is doing in depth, what they are doing towards their military assets, which are closer to Afghanistan border, closer to Iran border. Similarly, in Tibet, in case there is a skirmish with China, we would like to know what is PLA doing in Tibet.
On behalf of the 1.4 billion people of India, I thank the people of Ghana for this honor. I dedicate it to the enduring friendship and shared values that bind India and Ghana.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IIHM.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी। अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने, सब कुछ मजेदार बने। MDH।
I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter.
This rocket company is the only reason we can now send America astronauts into space. Take over, Elon.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's time now for the nation's sharpest opinion. And there's been one feeling that every case of corruption against the Gandhi Vadra family goes on for far too long, that it goes on interminably, and the government gives them a very, 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 very long rope. I hope that's not going to be the case in the future, because I was watching the final comments of Additional Solicitor General, the very sharp S.V. Raju in the National Herald money laundering case, the huge case of money laundering, which was carried out by Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi in conjunction with other Gandhi Vadra family retainers. And S.V. Raju said that this is an open and shut case. And he said that Young Indian was used for the purpose of usurping properties worth almost 2,000 crores of Associated Journals Limited. And that's our case. It's documented. It's an open and shut case. And I agree with him, because if these people get away with that, then all corruption should be legalized in this country. If these people get away with that, making so much money, ladies and gentlemen, putting in 50 lakhs and getting 2,000 crores of assets and real estate in return. If these people get away with that, and we allow them to get away with that, then we must recognize that all scams will be considered to be legal in our country. And I'm sure the courts of our country will keep this matter into account, because this is a question of setting an example for the country. Now, they made a 3,99,900% gain in capital on investment. And that is what I call a four-letter word in English called SCAM, scam. Look at these numbers roll before your eyes and consider the incredible nature of the scam. A nature of a scam that even the greatest scam masters in the world would look at and be surprised that anyone thought they could get away with that. Ladies and gentlemen, not even a leader of an Italian mafia operation could have planned something as intricate as that. So this is terrible. Now, viewers, this case has gone on for far too long. This case has gone on since in 2013, Subramaniam Swamy, then with the BJP, filed a petition that led to a trial court allowing the Income Tax Department to investigate National Herald's finances and assess Sonia and Rahul Gandhi. Remember, the complaint was during the Congress party time. The initial investigation during the Congress party time. So Sonia and Rahul, you have no reason to complain. If this is a scam, you should be out of politics. It is an open and shut case, I agree, because Young Indian Private Limited, 76% owned by Sonia and Rahul Gandhi, took over AJL for 50 lakh rupees, gaining control of assets of 2,000 crores. Now, if either of them can prove that they didn't make that money, I'll take my words back. Otherwise, they should be in prison. One day after the AGL takeover, Sonia Gandhi, the late Motilal Vora, and Oscar Fernandez were appointed as Young Indian directors. Were they or were they not appointed? Did they or did they not get 1,900 shares, 38% each, and Vora and Fernandez got 600 shares, 12% each? And why has no member of the late Motilal Vora's family ever come after that and claimed those shares? Because they know if they want to claim those shares, they're going to be under investigation too. That is what proves that this is indeed a four-letter word in caps, SCAM, scam. Ladies and gentlemen, what happens to Sonia and Rahul if they are convicted? Let me begin by saying that this is a very real possibility. If convicted, they could be in prison on charges like criminal breach of trust, cheating, money laundering. They could be in jail from a few years to a decade. This will restrict their political activity, their public appearances. This will disqualify them from Parliament under Section 8 of the Representation of People's Act, because a conviction with a sentence of more than 2 years leads to immediate disqualification. And a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that when the sleeve rolling Rahul Gandhi was about to enter politics, he tore a bill once challenging this very provision, and he said if any politician is found guilty of corruption, he or she must be disqualified. Now, Rahul Gandhi, you face your karma. You face your karma, Rahul Gandhi, because if you're convicted, you're going to be disqualified, which means the Gandhi dynasty, the Vadra Gandhi dynasty, will be officially linked to corruption. Of course, there will be bail appeals, prolonged appeals, but the optics of a conviction, even without jail, will damage their public appearance, their political credibility, their ability to fight elections. Ladies and gentlemen, it will also trigger operational crisis within the Congress party ecosystem. But beyond that, let me wrap up by saying, why not? If any of you had carried out a scam like this, this would not have gone on for 12 years. This has gone on for 12 years. And now the people of India want the four-letter word SCAM responded to with a seven-letter word, JUSTICE. We want justice. they must face justice too. I'm sure they will. Let's debate.
The walls are closing in on Sonia and Rahul Gandhi as the Enforcement Directorate completed its oral submissions in Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court today in the National Herald scam. After Sonia and Rahul Gandhi were named as accused number 1 and accused number 2 in the Enforcement Directorate charge sheet, over the last 2 days, the ED has solidified its case with arguments by ASG SV Raju, showing how assets worth more than 2,000 crore rupees of Associated Journals Limited were taken over by Young India, a new company with Gandhis as their majority shareholders, against a consideration of 90 crore rupees bogus loan from the AICC. The Enforcement Directorate submitted in the court that an entire conspiracy was created to form a company called Young Indian to usurp and siphon 2,000 crore rupees assets of AJL to another face of Congress under the direct shareholding structure controlled by the Gandhis. According to ASG SV Raju, who's arguing on behalf of the Enforcement Directorate, it is an open and shut case.
I've completed my arguments subject to my rejoinder. The other side was to argue at 2:30, but it was inconvenient, so they've asked them till tomorrow, which the court has agreed. I made out a case that it's an absolutely fabulous case as far as taking of power is concerned. It's an open and shut case. Young Indian was used for the purpose of usurping properties worth almost 2,000 crores of AG, and that's our case. And it's documented. It's an open and shut case.
The Congress, however, is completely defiant and stands in defense of the Gandhi family.
सेक्शन 25 की कंपनी का मतलब होता है नॉट फॉर प्रॉफिट कंपनी। नॉट फॉर प्रॉफिट कंपनी का कोई भी डायरेक्टर, कोई भी शेयर होल्डर ना एक नए पैसे का प्रॉफिट पा सकता है, ना डिविडेंड मिलता है, ना उसको कोई सैलरी मिल सकती है। कि ये 11-12 साल से केस सिर्फ इसलिए चलाया जा रहा है, ये झुंझुना इसलिए बजाया जा रहा है जिससे लोगों की रेपुटेशंस को ख़त्म किया जा सके, उनको धूमिल किया जा सके। लेकिन सच जो है वो सामने आएगा। एक नॉट फॉर प्रॉफिट कंपनी है, दूसरी एक्विजिशन नहीं हुआ है। यंग इंडिया जो है वो सिर्फ AJL का शेयर होल्डर बना है।
The question remains, is it time for Sonia and Rahul Gandhi to face the law?
I just heard a very stupid argument. I'm appalled. She said, Young acquisition का young Indians का Nalin. She said, Young Indian का acquisition नहीं हुआ है, सिर्फ shares दिए गए। Acquisition happens when you get over the shares. What logic is this?